Delsea.
So we're going to replay second down here, Rob. Second 11, see if they can come up with, split the difference, right? Try to get a 6-7 yard play here.
Well, they're going to talk it over and try to ensure that these players maintain their self-discipline. They're still trying to figure out whether or not that play is going to count. I think that's the discussion they're having right now.
So it'll be the play, and then you got to walk it off.
So I think the way this works is because one was live and one was dead, it's halfway to half the distance, so they actually end up gaining a few yards.
They do. But they got to get situated on the down here.
There's a lot that has to happen. This may take as long as the first quarter.
It should be second down. That penalty happened, live ball foul, so they would take that penalty, and then the dead ball foul makes it so it's got to be second down. It's like that commercial. You juggle the ball, right? You make it look like, you know, and then your mic's still on. We got to figure it out. We need to be mic'd here.
Second down and 10. Interesting sequence. Scott, quarterback draw. Nothing.
Safe call. Safe calls. Try to spread them out, get guys out of the box. Most important thing is clock here. Most important, clock is running, ball security, and this is a big third down.
But with 8 minutes left, you can't just run out the clock either.
Well, you can't, but that's all they did all day.
Yeah.
You know, just power,
Yeah.
impose your will. If there's ever a time you need to impose your will, it's now. And again, it just circles back to that 5-yard penalty that threw them off track.
And again, another interesting decision here. If you throw the ball and it falls incomplete, then that's less time you use off the clock. So we'll see what they do.
There's 11 guys in the box here, Rob, pre-snap.
Scott, hands off. Coven knocked down in the backfield. Big stop made, and Delsea holds. A tremendous play by Aiden Bourget.
They're just bringing an extra guy. There's 11 guys in here now, right? So there's one more at the point of attack now than they can physically block.
And this will be the first time we see the wall punter here. We talked about special teams. We'll see if Delsea can come up with a big special teams play. You saw individual effort by Bourget, and the wind is in the face of Wall as we speak. Snap is good. Kick is off the side of his foot, out at about the 20-yard line. That was a 1-yard punt.
Wow. There's nothing to explain that. And unfortunately for that young man, he's obviously disappointed. The staff is. You got to rally now. No, there's no time to be finger pointing. You just have to step up and make a stop. That's it. That's ideal situation for Delsea right there. He just shanked it. There was minimal pressure. It was his first punt. He's been sitting out here in the cold for the last 2 hours and has done nothing.
Well, Mulreed had his first point after attempt blocked, and now the shank. Second down after a pickup of 2 or 3, and if you're Wall, at the very least, if you give up a touchdown, you hope to do it after making Delsea run the ball 4 or 5 times.
Right back to the same play that they scored on with that unbalanced line, but yet sending the backs opposite of that line.
Obviously, a touchdown here changes everything. Second down, clock continues to move. Williams in the backfield. Bourget. About 3. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 4.
Bourget's a tough runner as well. Thick kid, tell he's a weight room guy. Runs hard. He's kind of tale of two halves here, right? First half, Ball had the ball. Second half, Ball had one significant drive.
Well, again, go back to that personal foul, and it's changed everything. The roughing the passer resulted in a touchdown run from Williams, and Delsea with all the momentum now. 3rd down and 4. Jet sweep. And denied is Taj Samil, the fastest player on the field for Delsea, did not have enough room to the edge in a critical 4th down here.
You cannot say enough great things about the play that Janasek just made on the perimeter. They had numbers at the point of attack there. He came up, took it on with his inside shoulder, forced everything to bounce back. Clearly that's what their defense is trying to do, design things to spill back, rallied, forced it back in for his boys to come over and make a play. Great job by that young man by setting the edge.
As you see, inside of 5 minutes now, critical 4th down and 4. Ball spotted just inside the 15-yard line for the Crusaders. And Delsea's going to call timeout. They don't like what they see.
Got to be right here.
Yep.
It's a good timeout. This could be the game. And you said, well, you can't always guarantee a punter is going to shank a punt. You can't always guarantee on fumbles. This, in all intents and purposes, how many more possessions are you physically going to get? You got to be right here.
Well, I think one thing we feel pretty confident in is that they're not going to throw the football.
You don't think so?
Now, I say that, and of course last year in the game against Camden, it changed everything, but Bourget has not been sharp throwing the football today. So I think if you're a coach, this is not the place to gamble throwing the football.
No, I would not be surprised if they come back to that misdirection play with the wing coming back across the formation, that inside handoff that Sally play. There was a big on that 4th and 12 early in the 3rd quarter where they ended up getting that big 1st down on that maybe questionable spot that you and I were talking about. I would not be surprised if that's what you see here.
Well, we have a couple errors there because it's listed as 9 and 2, but they have them outscoring each team. We'll get back to that graphic. But 4th down and 4. Bourget throws the football. Has a man. Incomplete. Well, I mentioned for me, but of course, who am I to question? Delsea has been so successful, but it looked like Bourget just kind of tried to loft it in there. And again, it is very windy today. The wind may have just gave it a little bit more.
And in all intents and purposes, that's a one-man route. You're looking for your tight end. And I think he started to pat the ball a little bit. His feet got antsy when 22 Larkin hit. We're talking about his offensive play. Could have very well made one of the biggest defensive stops in the game here. He had it covered. And I don't know if he had an option of where to go if they were covering.
I like the call because, again, you know, you take advantage of a team that maybe is too aggressive, but credit Wall on that play. Here's Larkin. Larkin keeps the football, picks up 5 or 6. This goes back to what we talked about in the pregame with Coach Curcione. You know, he said, my kids have great character. I haven't had a single problem with a single kid on this team. And he said they're very, very intelligent. That speaks to it, that very play. I know my role. I'm going to do what I've been coached to do. And I'm going to expect my teammates to do the same.
And that's it. And that's that trust, especially when you're playing this type of offense, this wing tee, this option. Just do your job and do it well.
2nd down. Scott hands again, and not much there to Larkin. And they'll call timeout, will Delsea, with 3:55 or so left.
That's Bourget sneaking down in the box again from his safety position. They just have one more guy at the point of attack right now.
So the clock continued to run here despite the fact there was a timeout called on the field. We had it at 3:55. We were correct. However, down on the field, they did not pick up the fact that the referees had called timeout. When I say down on the field, it's actually up here in the press box.
I think we're trying to make that adjustment now. The officials are talking to the Wall staff. We'd probably try to radio up here to get this thing right. It's a big down. And I know we keep saying that, but again, all these little plays, because there were so many single plays that have allowed Delsea to stay in the game here. It's 3rd and 1. You get this first down. Worst case, you're going to take another minute and a half off the clock and also burn the rest of Delsea's timeouts.
So right now it's 3:46 on the clock, and they're still trying to figure that out. So up here they're saying 3:53. I believe it was 3:55, but you know, we'll see whether or not 2 seconds make any difference. Wall Township 20-7, a big third down here. If they make this first down, as you mentioned, they're going to cut that amount maybe in half or so, and then Delsea's really up against it.
Yep, because Delsea's got one timeout remaining, as you see on your top of your screen there.
Larkin. Well,
that was their first third down conversion to the second half there for Wall, and it could have been very well the biggest one, the one that could have just won them a sectional state championship.
First and 10. Wall Township at the 27-yard line. Clock continues to move as you see it on your screen. And Scott taking a lot of time here. They may just run it down and call timeout, and I think that's what they're going to do. Curcione's going to wait until there's 1 second left, and he's going to call timeout. And they're going to just talk about what they need to accomplish as a football team here wisely. Again, Delsea with just one timeout remaining. And if Wall doesn't yield the football, Delsea is going to be inside of 2 minutes or so with the football, having to score twice.
Correct. They need a turnover. They knew that there's no. They have to strip it right now. If you're Delsea, obviously you're talking strip the football, get off of piles, let the official spot this ball as quickly as possible. They'll probably burn their timeout first down, make this game as long as possible. Flip side, coach is sitting here saying yards aren't important, ball security is. Don't try to fight for extra yards if needed. Two hands on the ball security, and we're 3:18 away from winning the title.
I would imagine you're not going to see too much other than either Scott or Larkin. And the handoff, not much there. It wasn't Larkin or Scott, so it shows you what I know.
That was Braden McNally, number 4.
Maybe that's just a case where, hey, listen, you know, McNally, we know that you hold on to the football. I don't care how far you get, just keep the ball in your hands.
The kid had 51 carries for 353 yards this year and 5 scores, so it's obviously a competent back that they trust in a very critical situation.
Second down and 10. And Larkin again with a big pickup. Timeout by Delsea. 2:34 left. Delsea's out of timeouts. Needless to say, they need to stop them here if they have any prayer of coming back in this football game. Even after a stop, Wall's kicking the football, about 1:45 left.
Correct, and you want to run this. If you don't get the first down, you need to run every second of it, run it down, wait for the official to chop. If you're the head guy, Coach Curcione, you're standing next to him, tell me when we get to 1, let's bang our TO. Just run every second down, get your punt team right, because obviously they're going to be coming after it. And after the last punt attempt, that kicker might be a little bit shaken. All he's got to do is get the ball off. Done. Game over.
Third down. Larkin again. Larkin keeps. Larkin stopped at the 30 or 31-yard line. And now, if you're Wall, you probably do what you did previously, is let the clock run down to 1 second, call timeout, and then we talk about, listen, punter, let's make sure we get it off, and how about making it go forward this time?
That would be great. That would be good. But the number one thing is just make sure your gap's sound. The coverage is actually secondary in this situation. Just get the punt off. You can't afford to get a block here.
So Mulreed continues to wait, and Curcione calls timeout. So, as I mentioned, about 1:45 left, 1:46 to be exact. And now after this punt, one thing, if you are Walls, say, listen, we cannot afford a punt return for a touchdown.
Correct. Punt return, and then also defensively, you got to sit there and you have to think about how are you defending this? Is Delsea going to open it up, or is Delsea going to try to? Again, their big hitters are their misdirection plays, and they're taking wing backs and coming through with formations, what we call them sallies and counter crisscrosses, things of that nature. Because clearly, today does not seem like the day they want to throw the football or have the ability to throw the football and effectively. So it's going to be some couple little final chess matches, but at this situation, you don't expect anything to be easy.
If you're Dan Curcione, do you tell your players, listen, I don't care what happens, tackle them, hold them,
Correct.
whatever.
It's just like the Ravens did the other day to win that football game against the Bengals.
Yep.
You have to hold. It doesn't matter. You do whatever it is. You cannot let anybody cruise by you untouched. In fact, they don't even have a deep guy back. They're 10-11.
Mulreed gets it away. It's another low one. It will dribble all the way inside the 45-yard line. And why down the ball so quickly? And they're explaining to Coven, why are we fielding the football here?
And that's an experienced vet right there. 17, Shane Ritchie. He's sitting there trying to have a little conversation with his buddy, saying, "What are we doing? Why are we touching that one so quick?"
Goes back to what we said before.
They're kids, right? We can probably watch a conference championship game today in college and ask the same questions, right?
First down and 10. Delsea.
They have 12 guys in the huddle.
There's 98 seconds left to win a championship. Bourget pitches. Walker. It's Samil. And you mentioned there were 12 players on the field.
Yes, I know that's the ref's discretion. If one of Wall's defenders went out to cover him, that's when the flag would have happened. If it's intent to deceive, it's up to discretion. But this goes back to what we were saying, not having confidence in the pass game right now. A, still huddling, and B, running option football at that time. You don't have many choices.
I think at this point now where you're going to see Bourget throw the football. Second down.
He's got
Walker across the 40-yard line, and Wisely goes out of bounds, so a nice pickup for Delsea. We're inside of 1 minute left, and Delsea will need to score twice.
And from a pass game standpoint, those last two formations, that inside guy is ineligible. You don't have to cover him. You just got to make sure in the run surface, he's cracking back and trying to establish that jet sweep for Walker there.
36-yard line for the Crusaders. First down and 10.
I wonder if they have a jet pass, because this might be the time to pull it out.
And another by Samil, about 7 or 8. And they're going to have to hustle here. A lot of time being eaten up, and they're in a huddle. Second down, Bourget. Right up the gut, Williams. And fortunately for Delsea, the first down stops the clock. Down to 21 seconds left. Bourget, and he will stop the clock at 19 seconds. Well, now it's just, you've got to throw the ball in the end zone.
You would think. You would think. However, got to expect the unexpected here at this point, I think, Rob. But I think the inevitable is going to happen here. I think Wall's going to capture their first title here since 2002.
Delsea has not completed a pass thus far. Bourget, with a lot of time, throws across the middle and in and out of the hands. It would have been a fantastic catch. A good throw, really the only spot he could have hit his intended receiver, Mason Maxwell. Maxwell caught a pass against Seneca, and that was the first touchdown pass by a wide receiver in 30 games. So that gives you a sense of how rarely they throw the football.
That's a staggering fact right there.
Yeah.
With a team that has, especially a team like Delsea, that's had so much success over the years. They might probably come back to that same thing, try to run a little post wheel combo here.
3rd down at the 24-yard line. Bourget.
Yep.
Good coverage. Throws it up. And it's intercepted. And Januzak, who has had himself a tremendous football game. What a great way to end it.
Came right back to the same exact play, a little post wheel concept. That young man has played a phenomenal football game. Special teams wise, he had some critical, I think, punt returns and set up ball in a great field position. Big time pick there, set the edge on defensively. Didn't have any catches today offensively, but hey, that young man was huge today.
Wall with the football at their own 2-yard line. And all they have to do is snap this football. And I guess they can take a safety here.
They absolutely could. You have a choice. You're going to take, quarterback sneak. You have really no place to kneel it. You have no, but you can snap it.
I think you're better served just trying to have a long snap, run around in the end zone. Even if it's a bad snap, just kick it out of the end zone. Delsea cannot score twice in 6 seconds, 2 touchdowns.
No, you can't, and you do. Your quarterback's athletic enough, or you give it to Larkin, have him just pace the back end zone, and when there's danger coming, jump out. You remind your offensive lineman, again, you can hold, you can do whatever you want. Who cares if you're holding in the end zone, you're taking a safety anyway. It doesn't make a difference.
There you see Eddie Scott. He's done a tremendous job managing his offense. And Wall, one play away from glory.
I don't believe they have enough guys on the field right now.
Greatest
play in football right now. You're getting ready to win a title, and we only have 10 guys.
Plenty of time here for Wall. Scott, and hands off. It's Larkin who ends up with the football, and I suppose poetic justice is Larkin has been the man as advertised. Wall Township is your Group 3 South Jersey champion, defeating Delsea 20-7. And again, Frank, you can see the elation of this program. They have not won a sectional championship since 2002. So that's a long time. A lot of these kids didn't even know that there was such a thing as Wall High School football the last time they won.
That is correct. And it's their school's 4th championship. And you can only sit down and you look in these situations and you credit Coach Curcione and his staff and how quickly you're able to do this. This is his 3rd year. Now he's 17 and 15 as a coach. And you look at this moment, and I just hope is for him at some point today, him and his staff, obviously the kids will, and they'll take this with them forever. If they had a chance to take a look at their crowd, look at everyone who came out to support them today. This is a huge thing for the school. It's this big thing for the town, the program, and going forward. Soak it all in, because you don't know if you're ever getting back to this moment. You can't assume championships. You never assume victory. And it's one of these deals, I hope, before he walks off the field, him, the staff, everybody takes a look at the crowd and make sure they really, truly appreciate what just happened.
Well, and on the other side of the football, Delsea cannot be anything but proud. They started out, it was rough. It was 1-3 to start things. And, they talked a lot about just the adversity that they faced. Not only were they 1-3, they were without their quarterback, but the one great thing about this team is they never quit, they never gave up, they continued to fight, and even in this football game, they gave themselves opportunities to come back and win their 5th consecutive championship. They just fell short.
They did, they just kept fighting, and again, they have really good football players. They got a lot of them still coming back. Delsea will be back. They'll be in the weight room Monday. This is only going to motivate the staff and the kids, because once you get here, you almost forget the feeling, what it feels like when it doesn't go your way.
Yep.
And these kids don't know anything different.
Nope.
Then what? This is what you do. You
Every
get fit
year
for-
they've won a championship when they were in high school.
Where's my jacket? Where's my ring? What
Yeah.
are we doing next? You know, how's this? They know the way this thing ends. So sometimes, listen, you don't ever sit there and say there's moral victories, but you are kind of sometimes just proud of your guys, and if you know they gave you everything that they had, at the end of the day, if the other team was just better, you got to tip your hat. And in this case, clearly, Wall was a better football team.
As advertised, 2 running programs ran the football all day long, but it was Wall Township who really controlled the line of scrimmage, and that was the difference. Wall Township is your Group 3 champion here on your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. For my partner, Frank Delano, my producer and director, Stan Ritter, and all of the crew, I'm Rob Christ. Thanks for joining us. Again, congratulations to Wall Township, your Group 3 champion. Good night, everybody.